How we doing, everybody? Tommy here for Who-Bangin Sports Talk. Today, what I got for you is the Sweet 16 matchups. I got the trends and the betting systems correlated with the games that we're going to be playing on Thursday and Friday. Got some real good matchups. After a great weekend of basketball, we watched Florida just make it by the skin of their teeth with a great game against UConn. UConn probably should have won that one. We also watched Maryland last second shot get themselves into the Sweet 16. We watched Michigan State do their thing again and again and again. Win that second half, outrunning teams out. The other teams are getting tired. They're just fresh as a daisy with that rotation of 10 players. It's an angle we've talked about many times at Who Bangin', and it's an angle that we've just been hammering all year long and did it again over the weekend, especially when Michigan State goes down in the first half. They just win that second half left and right. It's just been a great angle all year, along with that Vanderbilt first half. Just been two really good spots that we really took advantage of. Let's get with these trends. I only got 5 to 6 for you, and what I did was I correlated the games to the trend, so hopefully it helps us out a little bit more with our handicapping. Like I talked before, the X's and O's I think mean less and less once the big dance starts, and things like these trends, things like how much the teams play, are they playing teams they never really played, what parts of the country, altitudes, things like that, I think all come into play more than the X's and O's. The X's and O's, we even, besides the fact that we know them, we know these teams, we've been betting them since November. I just think that, things like that kind of mean less and less when the tournament starts. That's just my theory. But anyhow, let's get started. Make this quick. Since 2017, favorites of -5 or more have not fared well against the spread. Straight up, they've done okay, 14-11. There's been 25 times since 2017. The opening line has been -5 or more. And ATS, 8 and 17, 32% have only covered in that -5 or more area since 2017. Alabama is one team. Florida, Duke, Texas Tech, Auburn, and Houston all are -5 or more. Texas Tech is -5.5. I took that opening number as soon as it came out. I did have Arkansas over the weekend in the game I gave out in the first half, team total and the spread, only because of the way St. John's starts out slow. I did think they would win the game in the end, and they didn't. And I really thought that St. John's beat themselves. I thought that St. John's would have lost to any of these teams that day. So that's why I really jumped out and thought that Arkansas was at the end of their run, and I jumped on Texas Tech. I guess we'll see if that holds up or not. So far, the line hasn't changed. I took that right away, and now it's Tuesday night, and line still hasn't changed. Trend number two, last 38 Sweet 16s, -8 or more. Now, we know the -5 or more ATS doesn't hold up, but defensively, it does hold up. Um, -8 or more in the last 38 Sweet 16s have gone under the total 71% of the time. 27, 8, and 3. So when you see the -8, the total number, um, it's covering 71% of the time. Teams that are -8 in this Sweet 16 are Houston, Auburn, and Duke. Now, with the Houston game, another part of this trend is besides that they're going under the total at 71% of the time, they are also averaging holding teams to a little bit under 63 points per game, 62.7 to be exact. So not only are they going under in general, they're holding teams to 63 points or less. Purdue falls into that category. Their team total right now is 62 and a half. I see that -112 right now on Bet Rivers. Um, so according to this trend, besides taking the under at -8 for Houston, you would take Purdue's team total under. The third trend I got for you is about the number 1 and 2 seeds. If you combine the number 1 and 2 seeds in the last 10 years, they have covered 58% of the time, 31, 23, and 1. Straight up, 38 and 17. So the number 1 and 2 seeds combined have fared well. 38 and 17 straight up, 31-23 ATS, 57.8% was the exact number. But over the last 2 years, that's switched. The straight up and ATS ended up being 4 and 8 over the last 2 years. So the number one and two seed kind of switched around the last 2 years. Let's see if that holds up again this year. We know which teams are the one and twos. Um, I have them down here just to go over quickly. That's Alabama, that's Florida, that's Duke, that is Michigan State, that is Tennessee, that is Auburn, and that is Houston. Okay, number four. That one doesn't really. This there is a trend, but it doesn't really correlate to us. It's about betted seeding when there's two double digit teams playing each other. The better seeded team has covered the spread 75% of the time. That's only happened 8 times to 6-2 ATS. But again, it doesn't correlate to us. This it doesn't factor into this Sweet 16. But this one does. The number one versus number four, which is always a popular game. The number one seed has gone 12-4 straight up, 9-6-1 ATS, which is 60% in the last 10 tournaments. But last year, that did not happen. The number four team, which was Duke and Alabama, by the way, the number four seed last year, they both won. They both beat the number one seed last year. So last year it did change, but overall, the number one versus number four, the number one has covered the spread 60% of the time. This year, the number one against number four is Duke and Arizona, is Florida and Maryland, and is Houston at Purdue. Houston and Purdue. Those are the number one and four seed matchups. The last thing I got for you is about a total, and that's about the last 10 years. 25 games have had totals of 138 or less. The only game that involves it with the Sweet 16 here is Houston. Uh, but get back to the trend. Last 10 years, 25 games or more have totals of 38 or less, 138 or less, and 18 of those 25 games have stayed under the total. That's a 75% against the spread record. When teams are 138 or less, that under trend has held up really good. Houston is a team that trend has held up pretty good anyhow. Now their game is listed at 132.5. I personally have taken those unders more than once this year, and I've done very well with Houston under that 134, 133, 132 area. They've been a lot of games where they had 126, 128 points, 130 points. So don't think it's too low because you see 132. I did unofficially go over and count it. I went on covers and did try to go quickly over the final scores and see if I could come up with how many games under the 132.5 this year. I came up with 17 games and they went under the spread 10 of those 17 games. So that seems to hold up pretty good with Houston and that trend. But that's what I got for you. Hopefully that helps you out with this Sweet 16. It's going to be some great games. Thursday, BYU against Bama. Maryland against Florida, Arizona against Duke, Arkansas against Texas Tech. Friday, we got Ole Miss at Michigan State, Kentucky, Tennessee, Michigan, Auburn, Purdue, and Houston. I like Michigan to beat Auburn. I already took Texas Tech minus the 5.5. And keep your eye out on Michigan State. They did it again last week. And it's a trend I've talked about a bunch of times. DJ has talked about it a bunch of times. Michigan's second halves have been gold, especially when they lose the first half, like they did the last game. But their second half, because of that 10-man rotation, how they wear teams down, has just been gold all year long. Let's see if it holds up another game for us. But that's what I got for you. The Sweet 16 matchup that starts Thursday, March 27th, and then we got the Elite Eight. I'll have one more video for that, and then it's all about baseball season, guys. So have another video too for college basketball season. We'll put a button on that, but it's all about the Major League Baseball. You know how I feel about that. It's light it up time. So keep tuned to Who-Bangin Sports. Give us a like and a subscribe and a follow, and we appreciate it. Tommy Gunn, out.